All right, so today we are going to put a Gennie shifter mid-mount clamshell kit on a turbo 350 transmission. This kit fits a lot of other GM transmissions. We sell them per the transmission, so you'd find that on our website. You just need to identify your transmission, and you kind of do that by looking at the drain pan, the pattern on the drain bolts. We at Gennie Shifter really take pride in having quality heavy duty parts. So if you look at our bracketry, it's thicker than our competitors and stronger. It's going to be laser cut instead of possibly stamped. Same with our shifter assembly. This is all machined in one piece out of this bracket. Same with our bushings. They're machined Delrin bushings, not just cheap plastic. And the Delrin lasts a lot longer. It's fully adjustable shifter too. You can adjust the tension on these two jam nuts, and that adjusts your tension going forward to back, as well as the spring pressure, which is this center set screw pushes on a spring, and that regulates how much pressure you need to pull to the side for your side detent. That can all be adjusted. We even have a different set of springs you can put in the machine. We're also going to be going over shift sticks. We offer tons of different options in shift sticks, and you can also modify them. So today we're also going to show you how we mount our upright handbrakes to any of our mid-mount kits. So this is our clamshell mounting kit for fits many different GM transmissions. This is actually a 350, very similar to the Turbo 400 mounting kit for mid-mount, and 700 R4 or 4L60. But it comes with two clamshell brackets you see here, and then two studs. And the studs use these placeholders on the sides of the transmission that you would use to hold and rebuild or build a transmission. But you'll notice there's two holes on this right hand bracket, and typically you want to start in the upper hole. That'll hold the brackets tighter to the transmission. We're going to start there, and you hold it. This question comes up a lot, is how the studs get held or how they tighten, because they don't thread into the transmission. So you'll need to hold those with a vise or a pair of vice grips, and you'll tighten this nut down. So some of the transmissions vary a little bit, and you might need a little more room, which is why you'd use the bottom hole. So you kind of just trial and error with that. We also provide these rubber pads that can sit between the case mounting bracket. The ultimate goal is you just don't want your shifter to be able to rock forward or backward at all. Same to this other side, tighten the stud, and then you take your 2.5-inch bolts from the shifter, and we're going to go ahead and place these over the transmission. And I'm going to go ahead and put a rubber pad under each side, and the shifter will tighten against those. Hold everything nice and tight. You don't want it rocking or any vibration. See if I can get it coordinated enough here. Get the pad in there. Nice and easy. And you can kind of see a little bit of gap here, and that's good because you're pulling against those pads. Get that nice and tight. The shifter does have slots. You can rotate the shifter back and forth a couple degrees at least to keep your stick off the dash or away from your bench. Somewhere near level there. Put our nuts on. Get those nice and tight, and we're halfway there. So we're going to go over some setup tips today. Today we're going to set it up with everything in neutral. So neutral and drive share this slot right here. And right now the shifter is in the park spot. So we're going to put this spline arm on. That should be close there. And then we're going to take the shifter and shift it across reverse and into that neutral slot. So the shifter will be about right here in the shift gate. And so, of course, we need to put the transmission in neutral as well. So all the way back is park, then reverse, and then neutral. And then we go ahead and start putting on our linkage rod. So maybe move this one closer. So we're still before 6 o'clock. That's roughly where we want to be here. All right, so we got it set. The shifter in neutral, and the transmission in the second click or third click is neutral on the transmission. So right now we should shift between neutral and drive, right in this slot here between neutral and drive, right? And then pull to the side, and then we got reverse, and she locks into park. And that's what you want, basically. Reverse, neutral, drive, and then your lower gears, and she's set up great. All right, now we can test it out. So this one cool thing about our Gennie shifter setup is you mount the low stick shifter assembly with your mount kit to the transmission, and then you can put the transmission up in your car, and you can put the stick on from above. So we have a lot of different sticks. This is a 12-inch single bend stick, so it measures 12 inches right before we put the bend in it and then polish them. But it's solid stainless steel, so you have a little bit of hollow where it sits on the post. But otherwise, this stick is solid stainless steel, so it'll never flake, never rust. You can put extra bends in it. Sometimes people will buy like a 19-inch stick with the single bend, and they'll put their own second bend in it. And you can even do that cold. You don't even need to heat it up. And we recommend using like soft jaws or a little bit of leather, and then just enough force, but it will not flake or crack. And then you can polish to put the color back in where the bend was. So this is one of our most popular. It's a 1/1/8, so it's a 19-inch swan, we call it. Another series of sticks called the Commander sticks. So this is the shortest of the Commander. Again, made out of solid, but this is billet aluminum. And we bead blast the center and then polish the outside. So it takes a little bit of work, but it's really, really cool look. So we'll put the stick on. So you want to use Loctite on these two set screws. Get them nice and snug, and you should never have to mess with them. Alright, so now we're in park. Pull to the side and back, cross reverse to neutral, drive, and then your lower gears. Back across to neutral, and then have to pull to the side to get to reverse or lock it in park. So once you've shifted a Gennie shifter a couple times, you always know what gear you're in. I guess next we'd like to show you our handbrakes. And so all of our mid-mount kits, whether it's the clamshell or we have rail style kits as well for some of the transmissions. But our handbrakes mount up to our mid-mount kits, and there's some spacers here. So you're going to put this spacer towards the bracket, and then you have the pawl that's actually part of the handbrake, and then you put this other spacer between the pawl and the handbrake bracket. So to these 3-inch holes, let me show that. So these two holes are 3/8 16 and 3 inches center to center apart. So if you did want to put one of our handbrakes on without using our mounting kit, it can be done. You just need an angle piece, something like that would mount to the floor or to the frame. But you can do that without even having our shifter. So again, you can see the spacers. The bigger spacer goes towards the bracket, smaller spacer towards the mounting bracket. So I mentioned that. Alright, so you can see the handbrake mounted. You can tell how sturdy everything is. I mean, you can really get a good grip. This is an 11-inch handbrake. We also have a 16. It's about 5 inches taller. Just kind of go over some of our sticks. So this is a 12-inch stick, and we have these machined out of solid stainless steel. And so, of course, you have a taper on them. And we put different bends in our sticks. This one takes 2 different bends, this one. But after we bend them, we could either sell them in raw form, or depending on the look of the car, if you don't really want a lot of chrome, the raw look is kind of great. So that's step 1, step 2, and then it comes out looking like your silverware after polishing. Same with the commander sticks, well, sort of, but this is the raw machined finish, how they come from the machine shop, and we sell them this way, and we also sell them after we bead blast the centers and polish the outsides. This is the look of the commanders, which is really beautiful, classic look. And we also offer our handbrakes. Like this one is polished stainless steel, and this stick is how they come out raw. And you can really see how beautiful the welds are and how high quality and thick all the bracketry is. These brackets are laser cut, and these pieces are machined, but they come together really nice for a super heavy duty sturdy part. We are offering now the Commander Series handbrakes in raw, so that's a raw handbrake, and the polished would look more like this stick.